Namaskaram and welcome to viewers of PGurus channel. This is a special for members only video. I am going to show you how I tie my Panchakachham and think of this as five anchors. That's how I look at it. Although I don't know the meaning of the word kacham, but be that as it may, this is how I do it. And this is a finished product. So I'm going to basically take off and show you from the beginning how I'm doing it. So are you ready? Let's start. So this is the angavastram and I have tied it in one way, but there are many ways to tie this thing. So I I did it like a long mode and I basically used it to make it look longer, but you can do in other ways, like what I'm doing here is back to a square, and in the square what you can do is fold it along the diagonal like this, and now you see the the jerry coming at the bottom. What you can do is you can use this and you can tie this also around your waist like this. So now what happens is it looks pretty nice in that you can see on the sides also how this is shaping up. Okay, that's one way to do it. The other way is to just fold it simple and sling it over your shoulder like a towel you would do. That like you would do a towel like this, and like that. So that's another way. And now this is the Panchakachham tight. What I have is the extra long 9 feet by 5 feet or 9 muram by 5 muram. If you go to any store and ask them for Veshtis and you tell them that I want to have a Panchakachham mode, then they may tell you which one to use. But I have a small rule of thumb here. If you're 5 feet 8 or taller, you may want to buy 9 by 5, 5 feet long and 9 feet wide. Or if you're shorter than 5 feet 8 inches, then you may want to go for the 6 by 5 because you don't need that extra length. And the extra length can often make it a little difficult to wear and move about. So that's a rule of thumb. Okay, so now let's go the reverse way. That is to start, take off the thing and start over again. So I'm going to take out the first anchor, second anchor, and the third anchor in the back, the fourth anchor, and the fifth anchor, and that's it. So it's all off. So how do you normally start is you have your Veshti folded. You start from a folded Veshti. So we take a folded Veshti. I'm doing it in reverse just to make you feel like this is an exercise that can be done in forward or in reverse. So this is how you would normally have it tucked away in your cupboard, closet cupboard. So here, this is how you would look. It would look like for you, like everything folded and nice. So you take it out of the closet. Then you have two colors on this particular veshti, green and a red. I kind of like the red to come for the jerry for the front and the back. So what I'm going to do is use the green at the top. So green at top, red at the bottom for me. That's just my choice. You can use whatever you want. Now this is one way to do this Panchakachham. I've read that there are 13 different ways you can do this. 13, 1, 3. And I'd like some of you viewers, if you get yours right, to send me the video, and if it looks easy to understand, I'd be happy to post it for you in our membership section with your name and your credits, and you can tell your friends, hey, listen, you want to tie a Panchakachham, here is how you do it, and you can send the link to them, and so on and so forth. Anyway, so let's start now. So this is where you usually start. So what you do is you have to separate the doubles into singles. So these are single threads now. So I'm going to wrap it around my back and start with the edges held together, okay? And I'm going to start pushing it back, meaning like I'm going to try and measure this thing out so I can get the cloth to my back. Now here you go. We're almost there. So now I have it such that it's equally distributed on both sides. So there are people who try to leave a little bit on one side or the other. It's up to you. You can choose what you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with equal. And after having split it equally, I've got just these two. And what I'm going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is, the first one is a tight knot. And this knot, I'm going to put it as tight as possible because this is going to anchor the veshti to your waist. Where I'm doing it right now is on my navel, and that's because I see the length just right for the veshti. You can see now I'm going back. You can see the veshti is just at the right length for my leg. There we go. And that comes for me to my navel. Now you have to experiment with it and see which is the right size for right place for you to tie it. So you do two knots really tight. These shouldn't move, and these are your main anchors. They hold the veshti to your waist, and after that you are free to, I mean, this is going to be like really tight. You should be able to run. Yeah, remember that Panchakachham was the first pant ever invented. Okay, so having said all that stuff, now what you have are two different stands. Now what you need to do is the one on your right hand, okay, that one you start folding it. And how much is the fold size? It will be as much as your, sometimes you can take it smaller, but normally I suggest you use it with the width is the same as your jari width. And why it is so will become obvious when you see the final product. So I'm using about the width of the jari, and I'm just slowly folding it using my index finger and my thumb to anchor it. And slowly but surely this thing is folded, and we are almost there. All right, so here we go. So this is done. Now what you do is, all this stuff you bunch it and you anchor it in very tight. And because your first two knots were tight, the third anchor goes in and snug. Now you're done with the third one. The fourth knot is the remaining thing on the left hand side. On the left hand side, go to the farthest, that is on your left hand, and then start folding it again. This time you're folding with the jari, and see how the jari size is what I'm using for the fold size, because it lines up nicely when you do it that way. A split jari doesn't look very good, so I'm going to try and keep the jari the same way. So here we go. The width of the jari, we are making pleats, and again about 5 or 6 you will make before you come to the end. So I'm almost there. Now this is the tricky part. The tricky part is, how do I bring it so that it falls nicely on my back? So for that, what you need to do is first make sure the pleats are right. This is what I'm trying to do again and again, trying to make these things right, and I'm very happy with these pleats because it's come up really nicely. And you have this. So what you do is you put it underneath your leg, from between your legs, and pull it back up like this, and see how it falls nicely. And all you need to do is tuck it in. See here, I've tucked it in, and see how nicely it has fallen. So that takes care of the fourth tie, fourth anchor, if you will. And so you have the fourth one done, the third one done, then there is some more left. Now what do you do with what is left? That is the fifth anchor. Again, you have the jari, and you start knotting it nicely, making the pleat to be the same width as that of the jari, and it slowly but steadily comes towards you. And as you can see, I'm knotting it towards. So I'm coming closer to you, and see this, it's all set to go. And this is our fifth anchor, and that goes in, and we are done. Sometimes you may have to make adjustments, so one leg doesn't come longer than the other leg, but in this case, or this time, my legs have come out right, so the lengths are good. So now all done. Panchakachham completed, mission Panchakachham done. And this is the back side. You can see it falls very smoothly, and I'm almost completely covered. My legs are covered, and I can start. jumping, jumping, running, 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 run. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe to PGurus channel and namaskar.